Hello, beautiful people of the You Create the Dream page, and welcome to Awake in the Dream. This is our first Awake in the Dream call for 2026. And it looks like everything is running smoothly. So, Awake in the Dream, for those that are new to the page, is our fortnightly call. It is an opportunity for you to ask me anything at all. I generally share on what I feel intuitively guided to sharing on any or during any given Awake in the Dream call. So we are currently in the midst of our She Rises program, which is a three modules running over 3 nights. So last night was module 1, tonight is module 2, and then tomorrow is module 3. So what I'm drawn to talking about tonight is something that actually works or blends in beautifully with what we have already discussed in module 1 and module 2. This will be a shorter call than usual, only because I will need to, excuse me, that is alerts. We have had major rain here, very sudden major rain, and we have some flooding in the area. So they're just my alerts, to excuse those. Yes, so as I was saying, tonight's call will be somewhat shorter than usual, only because I will need to then get a move on and get ready for module 2 of She Rises. Do say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here. I love to always acknowledge your divine presence. I love to get to know you. Hello, Alicia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Libby, Kerry, Chelsea. Hello, beautiful lady. So lovely to have you here. So, if you've been feeling, actually, a couple of things I want to start with, actually. So, we're coming out of the snake year, the final shedding, the lifting of veils, which I did touch on a little bit last night in She Rises. If you haven't already watched She Rises, then I highly recommend you do. Those videos will only remain up on the page for 1 week. So we're at that final shedding stage of the snake year, right? More truths are being revealed, the veil is lifting, etc. And we're moving into the fire horse year, where if you want this year to be a lot more smooth for you, a lot more effortless for you, then you really need to get used to change and momentum. You cannot expect to stay the same and have your world become the way that you are hoping it to be or are wanting to visualize it. Change requires change. So it is so important that you do take action. You listen to your guidance and you take action this year. We are in a 1 numerology year. This is a beginnings, an opportunity, new beginnings, an opportunity for you to build a new foundation for which to create your empire on, and you need a solid foundation. And secondly, change requires change. I cannot say that enough. Change requires change. If you want something to change in your life, then you really need to move at the speed that the fire horse would move. So get the visual in your mind of a horse going into action, a horse running at speed, and understand that you need to be ready to move at speed, change at speed if you want more abundance, more wealth, amazing health, and things to come your way. Hello, everybody. I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. So, with that, because we're coming out of that snake energy, right? If you've been feeling flat, if you've been feeling heavy, if you've been feeling stretched, if you've been feeling a little bit foggy in your mind, even reactive, or like you're doing all the things, right? Perhaps you've got a New Year's resolution, you're doing all the things, but you still feel as though you're not yourself or things aren't moving the way that you would want them to, then I need you to hear this really clearly. You are not failing. This is the transition from the snake into the horse. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. So please don't get yourself all caught up in the stories of the ego that say you're not enough. There's nothing wrong with you. What you're struggling with is the fact that you're out of alignment. You're just feeling the constant shift of energies and they've knocked you around. And I'm actually going to go so far as to say they've perhaps knocked you out of rhythm, and that's why you feel a little bit skewed. And here's what matters the most right now. Here's what it is really important that you understand. When the world is loud, rhythm is how you don't lose yourself. Rhythm is how you don't lose yourself. You've got to come back into your rhythm, because the world we're living in is designed to pull you out of your body, to have you feel disconnected from everything out there, including yourself. It's designed to do that. It's designed to have you feeling so disconnected, even out of your own body, and out of your own heart, out of your intuition, out of your softness. I mean, to the point where you don't even trust your own intuition, that you think other people have the answers, when and it's only because there's so much noise in your own mind. And because it's designed to pull you out of that and literally into performance, into push, into noise, into survival, so that the world is intentionally doing that. Actually, I shouldn't say the world, society, the game that's being played, the BS that's presenting itself across social media and news and all that. You know, if you don't quite know where to look, it's like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, that's happening. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're just feeling, and then on top of that, you've got the energies. So your nervous system is running on high alert. Please let me know if that makes sense. Have you been feeling as though your nervous system is running on high alert? It's like there's just so much stuff. It's blowing your mind. The things that are coming out here and here and here, and the distraction and the noise here and here and here, and the energetic shifts, and perhaps you're not sleeping, and on top of that you're feeling heavy and you're feeling disconnected, you're feeling disoriented, you're not quite sure what to do, what your next best step is, all of those things, right? So your nervous system is running on high alert. Please let me know if that rings true for you. If you have been feeling as though you're carrying too much, if your heart has been carrying too much, if your body itself has been whispering to you, my God, you know, you're overdoing it. You're overdoing it. You've been, overriding your innate natural ability. Then this call, choose for this call to be your turning point. Choose for this call to be your aha. And please listen to She Rises. Make this moment the moment in time where you go like, oh my God, it's not me. I'm not screwed up. I'm not disconnected. I'm not messed up. It's just all the stuff that's going on. There's too much noise and my body is on high alert. So I'm going to come back to self. I'm going to reorientate myself. I'm going to come back to my own natural rhythm, because the feminine does not rise through force. The feminine does not rise through force. She rises through remembrance. So you are here to remember. She rises through remembrance. She rises through rhythm. She rises through the term I used last night, which was very interesting, softness with spine. She rises through softness with spine. And I'm speaking to you tonight because this week isn't just content, it's an initiation. So please, if you missed She Rises Module 1, I want you to know that you haven't missed your moment. You can still step into the frequency of it. It was amazing. So you can still step into the frequency of it. You can still feel the activation of it. You can still receive it. It will be up for 1 week from last night. Then tonight we have Module 2 and Module 3 tomorrow. So you can absolutely still receive it. You can still begin. You can still come back into your rhythm and your becoming. So, in fact, this call might be the exact nudge that your soul needed to perhaps go back and watch it. Because Module 1 is where the veil begins to tear or lift. Module 2 is where you return to your rhythm. And Module 3 is where you reclaim your power, your body, your voice, and you stop negotiating with your truth, because that has been your biggest problem. You don't trust yourself enough. You've lost yourself in the mess and in the noise. So just very briefly, I want to talk a little bit about rhythm. The modern world trains women to live in a very linear fashion. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? Wake up, produce, push through the tiredness, ignore the body, override the emotions, keep going, keep driving, keep giving, keep holding, keep coping. But you're not linear. You're not a linear being. Women are cyclical beings. You are the seasons. There is a time to plant, there is a time to bloom, there is a time to harvest and a time to rest. And if you've been trying to push and bloom all year, if you're doing that all year long, then your body eventually pulls you back because it's not sustainable. So it eventually pulls you back, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. And the body has been trying. If you look back, you'll see the body has been trying to go, hey, 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 come on, I'm going to do things different. Come back into your rhythm. I'm not saying that you can't work hard. I'm not saying that you can't produce magical things all year round, but you cannot keep doing it the same way day in and day out. It's vastly different. You have to work in alignment. You have to work with your rhythm because you're not only are you human, but you are the divine feminine. And the feminine has always, always been intelligent. She knows when to move. She knows when to be. She knows when to pause, when to speak, and when to listen, when to open, when to protect, when to give, and when to receive. The feminine is not chaos. The feminine is divine truth. So here's the question that I have for you. Where have you been forcing? When your body has been asking for flow, where have you continued to force? Where have you been perhaps overgiving? When have you been overgiving when your soul has been craving receivership? Where have you been perhaps staying quiet when your truth has been desperately trying to rise within you? Because it's so important that you understand that the cost of living out of rhythm, it's not just tiredness, it's disconnection. And when women feel disconnected, resentment sets in, numbness sets in, anxiety sets in. It becomes a slow erosion of your joy and you start to live with a lack of fulfillment. Please let me know if that's landing. You know, we've all been there. There have been seasons in all of our lives, and mine too, where I remember being so busy holding it all together that I didn't realize that I was abandoning myself because I got so caught up in all the things I needed to do and the to-do lists. I was doing, I was delivering, over-delivering, I was serving, I was carrying, and my body started whispering, come back. Come back, you can't keep going like this. And I'm sure each of you have experienced this. And when I finally listened, when I softened instead of pushing, then everything recalibrated. And it wasn't like I had to let go of things, but everything recalibrated. And when I learned to start doing things in a state of flow, everything changed. When we work in a state of flow, it happens a lot easier. It feels easier. And that's when I remembered rhythm isn't a luxury for the divine feminine. Rhythm is a lifeline. It's your lifeline. And women returning to their natural rhythm, it matters because women are the heartbeat of the homes. Women are the heartbeat of communities and the entire collective. When women return to rhythm, the world returns to balance. It's honestly and truly as simple as that. So we've got to not lose ourselves in the noise. We bring balance to things. We bring harmony to things, not through aggression, but through our divine presence, through our heart, through our absolute truth. And for those that did listen to She Rises last night, you'll remember I said softness is not weakness. Softness is advanced strength because it requires you to be able to hold a certain amount of safety in your body and to allow yourself to expand to be able to hold more light. Softness with spine is the ability to stay centered, open-hearted, strong, while not abandoning yourself. It's compassion with boundaries. It is love with truth. It is flow with exceptionally high standards. And I know some of you really need to hear this. Yeah. If it costs you your peace, then it's too freaking expensive. If it drains you, then it's not yours to carry. If you have to betray yourself just to keep it, whatever it is, then it's not aligned. And I'm not saying that to be harsh. It's not about being harsh. I think, in fact, it's about being holy, because that's feminine power. So I'd like you to perhaps close your eyes for a moment. You don't have to, but it's always nice if you can just go inward. It helps to go inward. So close your eyes. And I want you just to trust in what comes to mind. I don't want you to overthink. I want you just to feel. Focusing on your breathing, nice, slow, deep breaths. Where am I forcing? What am I pushing that my body is not available for? Just trust in what comes. Where am I depleted? What drains me every single time I'm in that space, every time I'm with that person? Where do I feel the most alive? What expands me? What makes me feel more like me? Where am I overgiving? Where am I giving so as to earn love, so as to avoid conflict, or so as to feel worthy? What would change this week if I honored my own rhythm? Just this week. What would change? And I want you to notice how even asking these few questions begins to shift you, because suddenly you're not performing your life, but instead you're listening to your life. That is feminine leadership. So keep your eyes closed for me. Just focusing on your breathing. I'm going to guide you just through a few more questions, because I want you to feel your truth, what truth feels like for you. Not just to think it, but to feel it. So with your eyes still closed, one hand now on your heart and one hand on your belly. I want you to not force your breath, but I want you just to become one with your breath. Just notice it. And say silently to yourself, my body tells me the truth. And now I want you to say, my name is, and say, follow that with your real name. My name is, for instance, my name is Joanne. I want you to say your name and notice what you feel and where you feel it. And now notice what comes when you say, "Is my name Cleopatra?" I want you to notice the difference in where you felt it. Just begin to notice the differences. This is about returning to the remembrance of yourself, your truth. And trusting now in what comes to mind. Are you tired? Have you been pushing? Have you been overgiving? Do you need more rest? Do you need to speak up about something? Do you know what it is that you truly want? And now the final question. Is it time to come back to yourself? Let your body answer. And if you felt anything, even something subtle, I want you to whisper, "My body is my compass. My intuition is clear. I trust me." And opening your eyes. Heidi's saying, absolutely so much noise, lots of death endings, energy in my world. Chelsea, insights, big news, big changes. There's so much happening for so many people. When you come back to yourself, when you learn to listen to you, when you come back to your own rhythm, then you start to recognize that this is a doorway, this is your doorway. Because when a woman trusts her inner compass, when she comes back to self and trusts her inner compass, she stops being led by the chaos. She stops being influenced by any external noise, and instead she starts leading herself. And you may choose to look at the noise or not, entirely up to you. But it's no longer steering you off in any direction. You are still more connected to self. And the reason this matters right now is that we have to remember that the world doesn't need women who are exhausted and silent. The world does not need women who are exhausted and silent. The world also doesn't need women who are harsh because they're feeling resentful and frustrated and empty. The world doesn't need women who are numb because they have programmed themselves to be completely disconnected, to not care, or because they feel unsafe. How does that help the world? The world needs women who are whole, women who can hold heart and truth, women who can stand with softness and spine, with intuition and immediate action. No procrastination, no having to search for motivation, but just trusting in the divine download and taking the necessary action. Love and boundaries. This is how the feminine rises in these chaotic times. And this is how we change everything, not by becoming louder than the noise. That's a very masculine thing to do. That's a dominating noise. I'm going to go and dominate it even more. I'm going to, it's not about that. It's about us becoming deeper than the noise by returning to our natural rhythm, by returning to our sacred truth, by returning to our divine self, our goddess self, by remembering what we signed up for, who we are, and the power that we have. So again, if you haven't watched She Rises Module 1, then please do so and join me for Module 2 and 3. So Module 2 is in half an hour. You can watch Module 2 if you want to join us live and then go back and watch 1. Because this is where rhythm returns and reclamation locks in. And And to be honest, look, if you've already watched module one, then I would suggest that you watch it again this week sometime. Go back and watch it again through this lens that I've spoken about tonight. And actually, perhaps watch it. And before you watch it, ask, where am I out of rhythm? Where am I silencing myself? And what within me is ready to rise? Because I assure you, if you say that, if you ask yourself those questions before you watch it, you will hear things very, very differently. So tonight, I've chosen to share what I have as a doorway. Module 2 is a full transmission of of some of what I've spoken about tonight. It's where I take you through the seasons, through the archetypes, through the deep receiving process. Because it's all about you remembering to return to your natural rhythm, to return to your heart, to return to your truth. So if there's something in you that you felt was really calling you tonight, then I want you to comment rhythm. And I want you to make that comment. You're not doing it again for me. You're doing it as a vow to yourself that I choose rhythm. And if you're ready, I'll see you inside of She Rises in 30 minutes. And that's on this same page. You create the dream page, module 2. And for those that are absolutely ready for a massive transformation, then I'll also see you inside I Am Woman. I am going to leave it there tonight just so I can make myself a hot cuppa and get ready for module 2 of She Rises. As usual, it is an absolute blessing to spend this time with you. And I wish for you all your heart desires and so much more. I wish for you to remember your power, for you to remember that you are far more than you can imagine, that you are worthy and deserving of everything that you desire. And it starts with coming back into your natural rhythm. All right, good night, everybody.